honor the people behind the transportation system that affects so many parts of our lives every single day. As we begin the 15th Annual Workers' Memorial today, I'd like to point out the 161 cones that you can see here that are in the shape of a caution sign. Each cone, as I'm sure you know, represents Caltrans workers who have lost their lives while serving us. And sadly, we are adding 2 more cones, which represent 2 more wonderful men today. I'd like to acknowledge the District 3 Honor Guard. These are the people you see up in front here, and they have said it's been an honor to rehearse for this day and to be a part of this ceremony. I'd next like to introduce Mr. Larry Edgington, who is currently the Director of the Operating Engineers Local Union No. 3's Craft Maintenance Division.
Good afternoon. I'm very happy to have an opportunity to be with you this afternoon at a most sober time and moment. The International Union of Operating Engineers has had both a high honor and distinct privilege for more than a decade and a half of representing the workers that we honor today. All of us must accept the responsibility for ensuring that the husbands and wives, fathers and mothers, brothers and sisters that left home this morning will return home safely to their families tonight. To ensure this, we must continue to work together to require the strict enforcement of existing highway work zone laws. We must continue to evaluate the need for additional laws to improve worker safety. We must continually evaluate work process and methods and technology to bring about necessary improvements to the work zone. We must continually work to improve highway worker safety training as part of our larger goal of creating a culture of safety within the agency. We must also continue to improve the wages and working conditions so that Caltrans can attract and retain the high-quality workers necessary for a safe workplace. In summary, the best that all of us here today can do to honor the memory of those who have given their lives is to rededicate ourselves to working tirelessly to ensure that the tragic events of this past year are never repeated. In closing, I'd like to extend the heartfelt sympathies of the operating engineer family to the families of Chester Hawkins and William Calloway. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Mr. Tony Grasso. He's the Vice President of Market Services and the Chief Operating Officer of the Associated General Contractors of California. You may know them as AGC. Please help me welcome Mr. Tony Grasso.
Thank you. AGC of California represents the contractors that are your partners in building California's highway system. On behalf of our members, I'm honored to be part of this ceremony today. In the past year, the state has lost 2 workers, and the contracting industry as well has lost a number of workers. We know that street and highway construction workers are at risk of fatal and serious injury when working in the vicinity of passing motorists, construction vehicles, and equipment. Nationally, over 100 workers were killed and over 20,000 were injured in highway and street construction industry. Every day we need to advance the cause of protecting those folks who do this good work for us. The memorial being placed here today and the national memorial behind us are testimony to the fact that this is an important issue here in California and nationally. Our organization, along with other organizations in the safety community, want to continue to be part of this effort. AGC is proud to be part of this event here today. Let's continue to work smart. Let's continue to work safe. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Grasso. And I should point out, thank you for reminding me, hopefully after this program you all have a chance to come up and take a look at the wall behind me. This is the first time that we've had this wall here in California. Let me get the exact name of it, the National Work Zone Memorial Wall. It is 23 feet long. It has been traveling the nation for 3 years now, and this is the first time that we've had it here. It could not be a more perfect time to have it, as it backs up our own memorial, and it's a reminder that what we are honoring here is also something that people are honoring all across the nation. Our next speaker is Ken Kochevar. He's the California Division of Safety and Intelligent Transportation System Specialist for the Federal Highway Administration. Welcome, Ken Kochevar.
Thank you, Edie. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Nationally, in 2002, there were 1,181 fatalities and over 52,000 serious injuries as a result of vehicle crashes in work zones. There are measures all of us can take to continue bringing these numbers down. First, maintain the posted speed limit in the work zone. The doubling of fines in a work zone is for a reason. Secondly, maintain an adequate distance between your vehicle and the vehicle in front of you. The most common crash in work zones are rear-enders. Finally, concentrate on the road, not on the construction itself, not eating your lunch, talking on your cell phone, reading the map, or anything else. Distractions are a contributing cause in roughly 1/3 of all vehicle crashes. We know and have seen that with your help, we can reduce the yearly fatalities and serious injuries in work zones. Please remember to drive safely and buckle up today and always. Thank you.
Will Kempton is the director of California's Department of Transportation. He was appointed by Governor Schwarzenegger in November 2004. Please help me welcome Caltrans Director Will Kempton.
Thank you, Edie, and welcome to all. Today is a solemn day. We gather this afternoon to pay tribute to Caltrans workers who have lost their lives while serving the people of California. Joining us at this ceremony are some very special guests, and I'd like to introduce them to you at this time. The Hawkins family, the Callaway family, and also the family of David Guillen, who was killed 7 years ago, and we appreciate the fact that they came today as well. But there are some other special guests that I want to recognize today, and that is all of our maintenance workers in this audience. I want to thank you for all that you do for the people of the state of California, for the risks that you take, and to let you know that I'm proud to be your director. Our thoughts today are focused on the 161 Caltrans employees who died while working to maintain and operate the California transportation system. This includes William J. Callaway and Chester R. Hawkins, who left us this past year. Today we honor the great sacrifices of all these workers and recognize the tremendous loss that their friends and relatives have suffered. The greatest honor we can render them is to keep their memory alive. And in recognition of their memory, flags at all Caltrans facilities will be flying at half-staff today. In addition to memorializing our brothers and sisters, we are also here today to renew our commitment to safety. In our work, safety is no accident. Caltrans works hard to prevent accidents, and I want to give you an example of that. We have designed and constructed a piece of equipment called the Balsey Beam, named after a department employee, Mark Balsey, who was seriously injured when an errant vehicle entered his work area. Today we use the Balsey Beam to shield workers from similar types of accidents, and it is on display at today's event. I'd also like to point out several damaged vehicles that were in work zone accidents. They can provide stark evidence of the types of collision forces that occur on the roadsides and that affect our workers involved in the process of maintaining our state highways. Now I'd like to again turn your attention to the caution sign in front of us, a graphic symbol outlined by orange safety cones, which helps us to remind us every Caltrans employee who has died on the job in the past 81 years. 2 more cones will be added later in the ceremony to recognize Mr. William Callaway and Mr. Chester Hawkins. 161 cones. That number gives pause. Yet there is always good news to tell. The number of highway workers' deaths in California is trending downward. Through our Slow for the Cone Zone media campaign, we have been telling drivers to ease off the gas pedal and to watch carefully for workers in construction and maintenance zones. Statistics show that drivers are listening to the message and slowing down when they approach the work zones. However, we cannot forget that highway work is inherently dangerous. It is critical that we never lose sight of that reality, either as an organization or as individuals. That said, Caltrans will continue to look for new ways to improve safety and to keep our employees and motorists safe. Our message will go out to those impaired by drugs or alcohol or a lack of sleep. The message will be delivered to those who do not slow down in work zones. We will communicate the following message from one Caltrans employee to another: be safe. Let us make safety a way of life, our lives, that must be consciously and consistently practiced every day. Thank you. Now it is my great honor to introduce Governor Schwarzenegger's representative here today, Secretary Sonny Wright McPeak of the Business, Transportation, and Housing Agency. Secretary McPeak.
Thank you, Director Kempton. On behalf of Governor Arnold Schwarzenegger and First Lady Maria Shriver, let me welcome you here today to celebrate the men and women who serve this grand state as the Caltrans workers who do provide our safety and who do provide the transportation system that we all enjoy. We first want to offer our condolences to the families who are here representing the workers who are all memorialized on these cones. I am particularly grateful to see the children who are here, who have the opportunity to travel in the future when they can drive on a safer highway system, who I hope will be able to remember and who will be reminded by their families of this service and what their members gave in the line of duty to this state. Your presence, your sacrifice gives added meaning to this observance. It is an honor to be here on behalf of the state of California, and I want to thank the Caltrans workers and all of the family members of those of you who are here today. May we give to the workers a round of applause for their service. In particular, today, we are recalling and remembering and thanking William J. Calloway and Chester R. Hawkins, who gave their lives in the line of duty. As Director Kempton has said, they represent the 160th and the 161st Caltrans employee who's died in the line of service. Mr. Calloway, a structural steel painter, died from a fall from the Martinez-Benicia Bridge. Mr. Hawkins, who was an equipment operator, was killed when his dump truck plunged off of a ravine. At the same time, we're honoring every one of those employees represented by the other cones. And we offer our salute to the fallen workers in several ways. First, through each of the cones who are aligned in the design of a caution sign. We acknowledge here with the honor guard their colleagues who represent their co-workers, and we remember them as we walk past the oak tree planted several years ago near the Capitol's east steps. The tree represents the growing limbs and leaves of our family of Caltrans, and they are the living memorial to these workers. We remember that the work they did in life had a purpose. They made possible our great transportation network that serves all of us, providing avenues to recreation, to commerce, and communication among all of us. For that work, we are indeed grateful. Yet, as Director Kempton noted, we are here today not only to remember, but also to renew our pledge to safety. Safety is Caltrans' most important job. Safety for, yes, the motoring public, but also for their co-workers. And that is why we all have on the orange bands, the orange ribbons, and we want to share those today. Wear them proudly as you go forward. Leaving this memorial service, wear them throughout the week, the month, the year to remind your family, your friends of what we are doing in remembering those workers here today, that we're trying to spread the word for increased safety for our workers and for the motoring public. Please take a moment just to appreciate the cones that are set forward. They are a graphic reminder of the sacrifice not only of these 161 workers, but of the Caltrans 20,000 employees who daily put their lives on the line for a better and safer system in California. We, the living, are called upon to affix their sacrifices to our own hearts and minds as living memorials, recalled each day in every task, and that is the best way to honor them. In closing, let us pledge collectively that safety is more than just a word, it is a way of life. As the ancient Roman Cicero said, the people's safety is the highest law. On behalf of the governor and the people of the state of California, to first the families and to the co-workers and the men and women of Caltrans, thank you for your service.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now am found. Was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious was that grace when it appeared, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, I have already come. 'Twas grace that brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home.
There was one thing that I wanted to read before we conclude this program. The families had a chance to just write something very brief about their loved ones in today's program. And I loved these words, and I wanted to make sure that they were shared with everyone. Chester Ray Hawkins family wrote, "Life is not measured by the breaths we take, but by the moments that take our breath away. We love you and miss you." William John Calloway's family wrote, "There are not enough words that can describe our dad. He was one of a kind, not only the best father and mentor, but a best friend. The love he gave us all will be in our hearts forever." And they signed that as a group, Your Loving Family.